So I want to share with you today, I'm making a garden burger type patty to put on to make hamburgers, and a vegetarian hamburger. And it's with oats and brown rice, and my family loves them. And I always make extra, and I put them in the freezer in a plastic bag, so I have plenty extra so they can take them in their lunches and everything. So I have this cutter I've had for a long time. It's called the alligator, and it does little tiny pieces. So in a burger, I don't want great big pieces of my celery, so I'm going to take and chop these pieces. It goes real fast when you're using this, and it just chops them. I'll put a link below if you want one. Otherwise, you can just take and, so I'm going to put this in my pan, but let me show you. Otherwise, if you want, you can just take and slice very thin. Make sure you have your claw hand so your fingers do not get cut. And then just take and dice your little tiny pieces of celery. I think it's faster to use the little cutter, so I use that. So I'll continue doing this, and then I will do my onion. I have done the celery, all nice even pieces, and now I am going to do my onion. So I'm going to cut off the core of my onion, off the sprouted part. My knife this is one of my old knives. It's not that sharp. I need to sharpen it again. And just skin it. You can put on sunglasses if it bothers you. And then I will use my slicer again, and I will, let me rinse this off. Just cut it in fourths, and I will use my slicer. See how fast that works. It works really nice. Faster and better than using my knife. It looks great. It's nice when you have small pieces, then you don't get a big chunk. So I have my onion and my celery in here, and I'm just going to put just a little bit of water, about eighth to a fourth. You might need more as it's cooking, and the reason why you're not putting this in the raw mix, because you want this nice and sautéed. So I'm just going to sauté this on the oven, on the stove. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Okay, as you can see, my onion and celery is sautéing in a little water, and I'm using a wooden spoon right now. My wooden spoon I just set in here, and I can set it in here, but if you had a metal spoon, you would never want to leave a metal spoon sitting in your pan, because when you go to pick it up, it will absolutely burn you, and it will happen fast. Even if you set it there for a second and walk away and come back, if your mixture is hot, you will get burned. So just a safety tip to remind you. So it's almost sautéed. I want it to be nice and limp. So I will be back. My onions and celery have sautéed to where I want them. So I have them sitting here. And in this bowl I have 4 cups of oats. These are not quick oats, but these are not the thick oats. They're just regular rolled oats, organic. So 4 cups. And then I have 3 cups of brown rice, and it was 1 cup of rice to 1 1/4 cups of water. And I'm going to add that to my mixture. Sometimes when I cook this rice in my rice cooker, and sometimes I'll add the seasonings to this rice opposed to adding them to the mixture right now, but just because I wanted to show you this, I'm going to add the seasonings next. I do it both ways, so it doesn't matter which way you want to do it. It just cooks it in to the rice. I like the way it cooks it in. And then I'm going to add the celery and onion. And it depends on how much water you need, because it just depends on how much they soak up into the oats. So I'm starting with 2 cups of water, and then I have a teaspoon of pink Himalayan pink salt. I like Himalayan pink salt because it has all the minerals that you need. 2 teaspoons of parsley, 2 teaspoons of Chickenist seasoning, Bill's Best. If you've ever heard of Bill's Best, I've been using it for years. I love it. It does have soy in it. If you have a soy sensitivity, you cannot have it because it does have soy flour, but it's Bill's Best Chickenist seasoning, so it's a vegetarian chicken seasoning. It works great. 2 teaspoons of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and if you don't like some of these seasonings, you can add whatever seasonings you want, or you can just put onion and salt, whatever you want. You can take away, I heavily season them. 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, and then you're just going to stir it, and you're going to let it sit for about, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. It just depends, because it's going to get gloopy. The oats are going to kind of get soggy, and that's what you want. So they'll stick together into patties. So that was 2 cups of water, and I can tell this is pretty dry, so I need 1 more cup of water. And if you accidentally put too much water in here, you could add more oats or brown rice, or if you put it like I just did, if you put not enough water, you just add more water. So it's a pretty easy recipe to play with. And there's water at the bottom, so this is perfect. 3 cups of water at this point. We'll see if I need more. And then I'm just going to let this sit. It's going to sit, like I said, 15-20 minutes, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to start making the patties. Okay, my mixture has been sitting here, and I've stirred it about 2 or 3 times over the last 10-15 minutes, and I just keep stirring it so it gets mushy. And I don't know if I told you at the beginning, that was 3 stalks of celery and 1 small onion. If you don't like the celery or onion, don't put it in, because the last time I made them, I didn't put them in. And I took my pan. You can either put parchment paper on a pan, or I sprayed this with some cooking spray. And then to make my patties, I have 2 different ways. This one, I have a saran wrap over a mason jar, and this is going to be my mold. So if you're making any kind of patties, doesn't matter what kind of patties, this will make nice round, about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch patties. I just fill it up. I smash it down in there, and then I kind of take the edges over and smash it. And then to dump it in, I just do it real quick. I just slap it over, and I pick it up, and there is your patty. The next way to do a patty is with an ice cream scoop, any kind of ice cream scoop. You can take and put your scoop of mixture in there, kind of smash it in there, turn it over, and then at this point you would just smash it and make it into a circle. I don't like this way as much because they tend to fall apart, but it does work if you don't have these particular things. You can also just use your hands and make patties. So it's about a scoop, smash them in, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes, and I turn them over halfway through also. So I'll just keep filling my pan up, and I will be putting them in the oven. Halfway through, you want to take them out of the oven and you want to turn them over, each one of them, and you can see they stick together quite nicely. Remember, you can make these and freeze them, and they freeze great. So now I'm going to put them back in the oven for about another 20 minutes. And we'll put them back in the oven. Okay, I want to show you the patties are done, and I'll let them cool. We're going to have burgers for dinner tonight and French fries. So there are my garden type burgers. Hope you enjoy them. I also wanted to tell you it made 21 burgers. So almost 2 dozen out of this batch. Bye-bye. Have a good day.